Shortening the history of human nutrition. I would like to tell you how the human diet has evolved. The development is actually 5 stages, which are 5 revolutions, each of which is characterized by a significant change in our diet and the ways of gaining food. So do not forget to subscribe this channel and comment to this special one. We are starting right away. The stage after the agricultural revolution is here, and this is the revolution of the sub-products. The revolution of the sub-product follows the agricultural revolution that took place between 4,000 to 6,000 years ago. This is the stage in which men began to use animals not only for the purpose of consuming their flesh, but also and especially for plowing and transportation purposes, moves that have dramatically changed the scope of the agriculture and the commercialization process. This stage intensified and assimilated the agricultural revolution thanks to the ability to move goods from place to place. A less central change that occurred but was nutritionally significant is the entry of milk as a key component in the diet of some human beings. So why did they start consuming the milk of the animals? At the beginning of the same catalytic upheaval we talked about earlier, population began to flourish in permanent settlements. In some areas, the expansion of the population led to the expansion of the agricultural lands in order to enable the increased food production. But this method was not possible everywhere. In flat areas with a uniform soil tone, larger and larger grain fields could be created. But in the mountainous areas where the climate and soil change more frequently, the nutritional establishment was not based on grain but about animals. There was a need for another way to increase the amount of food that would provide the rapidly growing population. The solution was to use the milk of the farm animals. The use of milk made it possible to consume food without killing the animal itself. So later, it would also be possible to eat their flesh. But milk consumption was problematic for the majority of the population. And the reason is that a mammal baby is born with the ability to break down lactose, which is the milk sugar found in the breast milk of all mammals. The breakdown is done by lactase, an enzyme that is secreted in the small intestine in infancy, and ceases to be secreted at the end of the infancy. Probably because it was not needed throughout evolution. If so, the dairy diet for the mountain people was essential to their food economy. But lactose digestion was a significant obstacle in this situation. In places where dairy products began to be consumed with nutritional necessity, a state of evolutionary advantage is created for people who have a genetic mutation that enabled the continued production of the enzyme lactase even after infancy. and allow the breakdown of lactose in the digestive tract. For this reason, in the areas where people consumed milk in those years, the population increased relatively the amount of people who are lactose intolerant, that is, those who are able to break it down. For example, in the Scandinavian countries where a lot of milk was consumed at that time, lactose intolerance is only around 10%. In contrast, among African Americans, intolerance is approximately 8%, and in South America it averages around 50% or more. It seems that as one moves away from the areas where there was a significant need for milk consumption during the revolution of the subproducts, the number of people suffering from lactose intolerance is rising. In the West today, about a quarter of the population suffers to one degree or another from lactose intolerance. I don't understand why people still have the need to drink milk. Maybe it's the veal way. Next stage, the sugar revolution, which stimulated humanity to use milk even much more. So do not forget to subscribe this channel and comment to this special one. Thanks for watching, see ya on the next.